Hi guys, I know I said I won't be on YouTube for a while, but things are looking good, roughly. But I want to explain why I put those videos out on YouTube. And that is to get a bit more awareness, roughly, to you guys, roughly, for you guys to get a little bit in tune to what life is like, roughly. Now, most of you that know me know I looked after my gran for 4 whole years. My gran suffered a stroke, just like my mother, but my mum's isn't as severe. My nonna lost the use of her right arm, her right leg, her mobility to walk, and her mobility to talk. My gran can only say few words, but what people mostly don't know about strokes is they, when people can't talk, you can, with especially, I don't know if this is with other stroke victims, but with my gran, she can't talk. She can only say a few syllables like yes, no, what, and that are literally. And when you play a certain song, it has to be a very certain song from her area, and that are, she can sing every word. And what it is, it's a trick of the mind, and that are literally somehow, roughly, your brain starts working, and that are literally, and you remember all that, but yet you can't get those words out. This is how, roughly, when we were going through this as me and my mum, roughly, when we were looking after my gran, someone has literally giving you a box, and then they've put all the words in that, and then literally they have literally locked it, thrown away the key. Then when you find that key, roughly, little by little, you grab one piece of paper at each time. But unfortunately with my gran, or say Nana, I call her Nana, roughly, she decided to give up after 4 whole years of trying. Me and my mum managed to get my nonna from a standard a hoist, which is a machine where the legs open and you are hoisted up to a great height using a sling, and putting that person either into a bed or a wheelchair. Now, when my nana first arrived, she was bedbound for 6 months, and then she managed to move that from that to a hoist. Then we managed to get her from a hoist to a standard, and then a rotunda. Now, a rotunda is the last step. It's just this little metal device that where you pull this little clasp up, and you can turn the person any way, in any direction you want, but you physically cannot move them. They either have to be in the bed or roughly in a wheelchair. Now, my gran, when she got up in the morning, she would be in bed, but she literally had to use her good arm and turn her whole body, and we made her do this every day, roughly, to build up strength. And what she had to do was basically push her entire body, even though her right side was completely dead, and that roughly, but she had feeling in it, roughly, slightly, where she could literally grip your hands dead tight and that. But she had to push her body up, roughly, and then what people would do, including carers, roughly, because we did have carers. Long story short, roughly, carers caused problems in this house, roughly, and loads of shit went down. But the thing is, you press the little clasp, turn the rotunda, and then she'd go on to a commode or a wheelchair. That's how we did things. And that this year, but my nana, whatever you want to call her, she gave up, roughly, and she unfortunately likes too much attention. She likes people to do stuff for her. She doesn't want to do anything for herself, and that includes talking. And that's the only thing my family doesn't like. Now, I put those videos out because, for one, I was going through a lot. Just like my family, I was going through a lot, and yesterday was the most scariest day of my life. I actually thought I was going to lose my mum. And lucky enough, that did not happen. But the videos were up, because I've always been told to talk my emotions out. I've been taught that ever since I was young by my mum. Talk stuff out, instead of bottling it up. And unfortunately, the only person I can talk to is the dog. And she's literally half the time she's freaking asleep. So for me, I wanted to basically tell you guys what's going off as well, and to get the emotions off my chest and to talk it out. And I wanted those videos up as well for awareness and that lot, because sometimes we take life for granted. And I know I did. I've not been the best at the moment. I've had depression myself, and I've been going through a lot emotionally, and I needed a bit of a break. But the thing is, I've been spending a lot of time on my phone, my smartphone, I've also been spending a lot of time in my bedroom, because me and my mum, we have been arguing, just like some of the other family members have been arguing with my mum, because we've been trying to get her to eat properly because she's diabetic. And yes, my mum is a biggish weight. No, it's not because she's always constantly eating. We're trying to actually fucking get her to proper eat. That's the problem with most people, is they think when they see a big person that naturally they are always constantly eating the fridge and always stuffing food down the freaking throat. If anything, my mum's the complete opposite. We're actually trying to get her to fucking eat, which is the frustrating part about it. But she's also got underactive thyroid, and if you've got underactive thyroid, you cannot lose weight like a normal person. A normal person can lose about £3 maybe in a week. My mum can lose £1 in about 3 months. It differs. And but I wanted those videos out to get more awareness about strokes, and for people not to take advantage, for people to basically see that we need to be in the moment, and we should take life as it is. That's why I made the decision, because like I said, I've been spending a lot of time in my bedroom. Like I said, I've been suffering with depression, and that arguments have been going off between family members and that and I gave up my smartphone because I was always constantly on it. I was using it for social media. Oh, what's the latest thing on Argos, eBay, Amazon, and that but I was mainly using my phone for texting and calling. So I made the decision, 2 days ago, to get a contract out. I do have 2 contracts. Mine's due to end in November, but I'm also paying for my sister's, which ends in August next year. But I decided to get a contract with a flip phone. Just a plain ordinary phone that just does calls and texts. This is the Doro phone. And for me, this has been the best thing since I did this. Because for one, literally, I am not checking social media, and I feel so much better for it. It's only been, I think, about a day and a half, and actually, I'm not checking social media. I'm mostly going on my computer at the night time. I'm staying downstairs, and I'm ringing and texting just on this. That's all it does, and that's all I need. Because I'll let you in up on an update about my mum, because we found out a while ago. My mum took her first steps today, which to some people isn't important, but it is. My mum's stroke was minor, but with strokes, they leave something behind. And what you don't know about strokes as well is they always take away your most dominant side. My nana's most dominant side was her right side. I don't know what my mum's was, but thing is, this year hers affected her left side. Now, roughly, my mum took her first few steps. It's going to take a while for recovery. She might be released on set tomorrow or the next day. We don't know. It depends roughly when they do the scan and stuff off the day to see if she's okay to come home. But thing is, my mum is going to need a walking cane, and she's going to need physiotherapy. Now, I've been through all this before, so I know roughly what's to come, roughly what she needs to do. My mum, for exercise, even though she's got a bit of mobility in her left arm, she is going to have to do physical therapy on this arm. And I know my mum, she will not end up like my gran. My mum's always says she does not want to end up like my gran, who gave up. And like I said, those videos, they're important. I needed to get stuff off my chest, roughly, because it was, even though I was ringing my whole entire family, there was no one ready to talk to while I was here. Because of COVID, roughly, you can't have people at your house at the moment and now. So basically, I was alone, and roughly, I didn't know what to do. I was panicking, and I was crying, and I needed to get stuff off my chest. And for me, YouTube, for me, roughly, it's not, some people call it a job for me, but it's more like a lifestyle choice. I do it for the fun of it, roughly, and because I enjoy doing it. Now, sometimes my content isn't really that good, but thing is, you live and you learn. But my mum's stroke, like I said, my mum's stroke was a minor one. Now, when it comes to my nana / gran, whatever you want to call your grandparent and nana, my nana had a really bad stroke, but then she had a few mini strokes, which unfortunately turned into something called Todd's paralysis. Now, what Todd's paralysis is, it's like a stroke, but thing is, your body doesn't go into stroke mode, because this is, let me just talk about this first before I talk about Todd's paralysis. You know the advert, you know, where it goes, where it's talking about strokes and that lot, and it's like face, arms, speech, time, fast. That doesn't always work. My mum showed no symptoms of a stroke, so did my nana. They don't always show signs. It's like when I was telling my uncle, when I was like, I think it's a stroke. It's like, you can't always pin things down to a stroke. He says, your mum's face hasn't dropped. I says, yeah, but neither did nana's. I says, they don't always show signs. And the difference is, family couldn't argue with me because I've seen strokes happen. I see my nana have a stroke in my living room. My mum had a stroke, mainly in the living room, but it was starting the night before in a bedroom. And that loads of people says, I have more experience than most of the family because I've been there. I've experienced it all. And now let's talk about the Todd's paralysis. Todd's paralysis for my nana is where, when you have too many strokes, roughly too many mini ones, and what the Todd's paralysis does, for my gran, I don't know what it does for anyone else, but my nana, her face does droop like that and that lot, but she goes in a deep sleep. And then literally we have to wait till she basically comes back, and then her face sorts itself out. That's what Todd's paralysis is. It's like a stroke, but like the most tiniest of strokes that's enough to affect you for a certain amount of time. And there's no cure of it, roughly, but thing is, roughly, it happens, unfortunately. But it's going to be a long road of recovery. My family knows this, and we know this as my mum's children. But unfortunately, life's unfair, roughly. We can't do anything about it. I'm tired, roughly. I didn't get much sleep last night. Just like my brother and my sisters, roughly, we didn't get much sleep last night because we were worried. Because when it comes to my mum having the stroke, she also had a blood clot on the brain, and she had to have emergency surgery to save her life. But she's doing okay, roughly, so everything's alright. This video is going out for educational purposes, for people that don't know much about strokes. This is coming from someone, me, that has experienced. 2 people I care about have 2 strokes. That was my nonna and my mum. And that lot, I have 4 years experience, going on /5, but thing is, roughly that's a different story. But of real life experience of physiotherapy, speech therapy, doctor's appointments, having an arm brace put on, roughly, to help my gran, because when you have a stroke, you can't open and close your hands like a normal person. And my nonna has to have a hand brace because she at first had to separate her hands and literally straighten them out. But now her hands are like this 24/7 because she refused to do it. If you do not straighten your hands and unclaw them, your hand will seize up and your hand will be like this forever. So my nana had to have basically a brace, and they told her, you need to work on this because that arm brace is only going to do so much. Now my gran doesn't use one because her hands have seized up. Now, when it comes to, say like if a stroke's affected your leg, you physically have to use your mind to basically lift that leg. And it's hard. It is hard. I've seen it, roughly. It's physically hard to see someone try and physically, roughly, try and lift a part of the body that is a dead weight. Because that essentially what has happened. Roughly, your mind has switched off the nerves in your arm and in your leg, including your speech. But that's it, roughly. That's what's happening. Roughly, we're going to be moving forward as a family. My mum's got to have physiotherapy, roughly, so that starts after a while once she's recuperated a little bit, roughly. But that's how we're moving forward as a family, roughly, and we're going to get things sorted, and we're going to move on as a family, and we're going to be more aware because it puts you. I've said this before with my situation with my friend, roughly, about his mum dying. Situations and life-threatening situations like this, roughly, I actually thought I was going to lose my mum. They put your life in perspective. And that lot, roughly, and I'm going to be spending as much time as I can to help my mum and to basically be with her as much as I can. And that are just like my brothers and sisters, they says, roughly, and my uncle, roughly, everyone's been discussing how your life can just change over one night just like that. And that lot, and how we as people take life for granted. But I think it's time, roughly, we all take a step back, roughly, and start living in the moment instead of basically on our smartphones, computers and that lot. Yeah, some people do it for a job and that lot, but the thing is, I'm a natural caregiver, roughly. I was brought up and raised like that, roughly, and it's something that's drilled in my mind, roughly. I love to help people, and that's why I want to get this video out for educational purposes and to help people understand what stroke victims are like, roughly. So that's my side of the story, and a little bit of education in there for you guys. And I'm sorry for the emotional video, roughly, but thing is, like I said, I needed to get stuff off my chest. There was no one here with me apart from my dog. That's the video. I still don't know if I'm going to upload roughly at the end of the month, but I might do roughly, but I have a lot on my plate at the moment. So that's that. I will be getting my first set of acrylics at the end of the month because my nails, I don't know what's going off, but they keep snapping, like, look, all the time. The amount of times my nails are chipping at the moment, I've just had enough. I want to change. And I'm also going darker with my brunettes. I've had some fun with this, but it's too red toned. It's a nice colour, but this brunette, roughly, it's got too much red in it, and I just want to darken it up slightly. I'm going to be buying It's Pure dark brown henna, but I'm going to be leaving it on for about an hour. I also want to do a video about how my hairline has changed since being on hormones, because a lot has changed. And remember my bad side where it hasn't filled in a lot? Not anymore, roughly. There's the slightest bit of space, and this bit right here is hiring itself up. So a lot's changed. My body's also changed. I noticed this morning that I've cinched more in the waist and I'm more proportioned, which is very good. But this video is just to get a little bit of awareness out there. I love you guys, and hopefully stay safe.